All right. Hey, Luana, how you doing?
Hi, Jack.
All right. So I kind of just wanted to talk to you and kind of get your experience and what it was like when you first came to us and how you were feeling about the recruiting process, what you were experiencing, and then what you've experienced now that you've kind of gone through the program. So when you first came to us, what were you guys struggling with in the recruiting process?
For us, definitely, we were sending out emails and not getting a response from coaches. And so, of course, that kind of created a little bit of doubt, thinking, like, oh, maybe my son is not good enough to play at the college level, or kind of, yeah, just kind of discouraging in that way. But from every other experience and him playing all these years, we knew he could. We just needed to find the right place.
Yeah, that's awesome. That makes sense. So, and I think a lot of people feel that way. They send emails out and then they don't really get any response and they start to wonder, maybe my kid's not good enough. Maybe they're only a junior college level player. And then as soon as you kind of learn maybe how the recruiting process works, you're able to uncover this gem and see like, no, my kid is good enough. This is actually a good thing. So, what else maybe did you guys try when you were trying to get interest from college coaches? Were you going to showcases and camps? Like, what other things were you trying to do to generate interest?
Yeah, we went to camps, we went to showcases, we did tournaments with our travel team. And, now going through your program, we realized, wow, that was a lot of wasted money and opportunity because we were in front of a lot of coaches, but we just hadn't reached out to them before getting there. So obviously they had no reason to, watch out for our kid, right? Prior.
Yeah, totally. So let's talk about the program. So when you first got in, and now obviously you have the whole shebang, you have everything in front of you. As you were going through it, what was your experience inside? And what did you learn that was particularly helpful?
For us, we stopped writing novel type emails to coaches and realizing that that's probably one of the main reasons they didn't even read it, or definitely didn't respond. We timed ourselves like you told us to, and we're like, wow, that took a long time to get through. So, one, a college coach does not have that kind of time when they're going through, 50, 100 emails. So, we definitely followed word for word um, your process and keeping it really short, concise, and sweet, and adding the videos and even the timestamps. And I think that has to be the reason that now at least we are getting a response. It might have been something more, at least there is a response, right? So I think he's gotten responses back that say like, oh, keep the videos coming, we like what we see, which is much better than no response at all. And then now we do have definitely clear interest and emails and responses going back and forth. So
That's fantastic. That's exactly where we want to be because that is the beginning of like the whole process is when they're saying, hey, keep sending me video. I want to stay in touch. That is a coach actively recruiting you. So that's fantastic. And we're going to talk about that in a second and kind of the results that you've seen. But even before we get there, I want to ask you when you first learned about the program, we talked. Were you hesitant to kind of buy into it? And if so, why?
I guess because we had spent so much money going to showcases and going, thinking that we were spending our money wisely in the process. Um, and we see so many, things on social media, TikTok and Instagram, and guys talking about the process and, oh, I can help you. And, but it just, they didn't have a system in place, a step by step system in place where it was just kind of them giving you advice. And I just thought, well, paying for your advice is not, going to get me anywhere. I probably need a little bit more concrete system to follow. And so I think your program definitely had those things. And so, from the exact words you should use to put in an email, that's so helpful,
Yeah.
and I think that was the difference for us, just being able to see that. And following you on social media, I could tell that you came from a place of, I'm not just trying to take your money. I actually do care and I do know about the process.
Yeah.
And that felt different. And you were real truthful about things. So I think that was different for us.
Oh, so cool. Well, I'm glad that you felt that way. And then let's not just say that that's how you feel. Let's look at the results. So, after going through the program, it's only been, I'm going to say maybe a month or so since you kind of started going through it and started sending emails. And now, how many schools are you talking to, and how do you feel about the process now versus back then when you were kind of doing it on your own?
So I think we've set a goal to, for us, I think it's easier for my son when we chunk it and not do it every single day. But we've definitely done, every week, we'll set aside time and prep things and get the videos ready, get emails ready. And I think sending out the emails, um, that first week, I think we sent out maybe 30, and I know we should send more, but we did send out 30. And then we also did, because it had been over 2 months since we first sent emails out to our first bunch of schools, we decided we would resend those schools emails. And so even from that batch, now my son is in contact with about 4 colleges, who at least now there's a conversation going back and forth, so that's very promising.
Fantastic. So those are personal conversations, not like a camp invite, like, hey, come to my camp, spend money at my camp. Those are like real colleges and conversations, right?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. And before, I think there was one thing that you said when you sent me that email, that I'd love for you to just kind of expand upon, and then I'll let you go about your day. But you mentioned how you kind of felt like the recruiting process was a little frustrating and maybe overwhelming. Can you talk about how you felt before and then how you feel now about the process?
Yeah, we were definitely overwhelmed and definitely frustrated because we thought we were doing what we needed to do by sending out emails and sending out video. But now that we have your program, I feel there's definitely a better game plan for us to follow, a system for us to follow. Um, and then things that we can go back and say, oh yeah, we definitely did not do that right. Like it's a good system that we can go back, see what we did wrong, correct it, redo it, and we have a more clear game plan to follow. And that really, really made us feel better. And I know now that, these responses are just, this is the start, we're starting all over. So I feel like at least now we have somewhere to get to.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, it's only been, it's been about a month, I would say, maybe even less than that since you first
Less.
started sending emails. Yeah, probably less than that, maybe a couple weeks. I don't, yeah, maybe a couple weeks. And you already are now talking to 4 schools, and you're just in a completely different place. If you do this for a couple more months, who knows how many schools
Right.
you guys will have interested. So I think your story is awesome because again, it was like a gem, and you just kind of had to uncover that gem, and you're already kind of seeing pretty quick results. And that's awesome, right? That's exactly what we shoot for and what we want. So, Luana, thank you so much for your time and for sharing your story. I hope that it'll help a lot of families, going forward.
No problem. Thank you, Jack. Thanks for all you're doing.